Photographers are like loaves of day-old bread. Sure, they can provide for your family sometimes if there's enough of them. There rarely is. They get moldy sometimes if they get wet. They click when you open them. Doesn't mean that they're terrible people. I'll help some of them, but they don't deserve my help.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Hey, 18 to 135 for Fuji. Any thought? Do I look like I would stoop to that level? I've heard good things about it. People like it. It's just, I don't do zooms. Those are photographers looking to, like, they can't walk. They got knee replacements. They don't like zooming with their feet. So they just sit in one place and wait for the world to pass them by. The longer you go on a zoom, the worse each zoom range is. That's why primes are the best, zooms are the worst. And the longer you go within that zoom, you're dumber and dumber. If I'm going out for slow-mo street videography, Zeiss 55, that's all I would need. I'm not gonna also bring like the 90mm macro and try some of that. I hate that. Just bring your one thing for the day, and that's your footage for that day with that lens. Then you move on to another day. Hopefully it was better than the bullshit day you just had. I shoot corporate and non-profit documentaries. Do you think the X-T4 or XH2S autofocus are usable for running gun B-roll, documentary shooting? What lenses would you pair with it? I don't have any faith that Fuji could capture anything in any amount of light. The autofocus, much better for this type of shit. You're moving back and forth like, wow, it's so good. Then you get out in the field and it's like, it won't recognize anything. Oh no. I didn't like it. I didn't find it reliable at all. I wouldn't trust it for a documentary. Are you kidding yourself? You're manually focusing for a vintage leather pant look. That's it. Don't be autofocusing. You're going Sony, maybe Canon, probably Nikon. I doubt it. If you just had the Ponyboy G9 and the GoPro 11, what would you vlog with? Come on, we need Tony. Do we? Because you're going to become the Tony in the G9. The GH6, it can work. I was surprised. It latched on the whole time. There was only one moment where I was in the shade. It kind of hunted a bit. Totally like doable. And you also have that hack. Just tap the lock. So, but would I bring that? I doubt it. GoPro is just so much lighter and has more slow motion abilities. And you got a little hyperlapse thing too. So it's just the more fun vlogging cam. You don't need a G9, but it can be fun for the more cinematic stuff. If you want to blow people away, then okay, you get some done with your slow-mo. That could be fun. But G9, yeah, you could. I don't love G9 color science, whereas GH6 is good enough. Why does your GoPro look like it has tonne? Because I'm awesome, and I knew. Actually, one of you suggested it. My DJI Action 1, which I finally sold, by the way. Thank you, guy in Manitoba. It was out of focus, and I'm like, I never thought there was a close focusing filter that could remedy that. I was like, really? And then I bought one. I was blown away that I was finally in focus. And it also has the side effect of kind of blurring the sides a bit. So it gives you the impression of tonne. On an action cam, it's the ultimate thing. For vlogs, it looks fantastic. I like it. I have affiliate links for them, of course, down below. You can do +10. You could stack them all and get super close for macro. Can be done. 240 frames macro stacks. Do you think animal eye detect will trickle down to older models, X-T4, XS10, at least in a firmware? If not, this seems like a massive cripple hammer dealt by the hand of Fuji. It doesn't work now in their current models. What are you asking for? Like, please give me a broken hammer in half so I can hammer the... Oh, it's not working. Oh no. It's useless. It's utterly useless. You get so much better results with just a little box and put it on your subject, and then it might follow it. When you have a box with animal eye detect on, it hunts the whole screen, looking for anything but an animal. It was the worst iteration, except the OM1, which was even worse. I'm just saying, even Panty Boy was better. It pulses quite a bit, but that adds vibrations to your mix, and I don't mind it. Just a little vibrating world could be a thing. It is. So if their flagship can barely do it, I wouldn't expect the lower tiered loser models to get it. If it was Sony, they certainly wouldn't let you. I moved. Not related question. Do you find any usage for Sony 14mm 1.8? I gotta be honest with you, that's one of the dumber releases Sony has ever come up with. A lot of vloggers thought like, oh, this is so wide, it's awesome. It's too wide. Should have been a 16, maybe 18. Like that Panasonic 18mm 1.8, that's a lens that I would almost get into the system for. That's an do-it-all fun lens. But the 14mm, it's so distorted and weird looking, stretched out sides. Nothing ever looks right. It's heavy, it's expensive. It's not that heavy, it's pretty light. I don't think you can put filters on it. Don't quote me on that, I forget. I did review it. I don't remember my own mind. That's a problem. I do eat a lot of aluminum canning. So I wouldn't get it. It's bullshit. The 20mm 1.8 is Sony's wide lens. It would be nice to get an 18 one day. I would love an 18 1.2. Yeah, I changed it mid-sentence. I would like a 24mm 1.2 by somebody. I've never seen one. One day it will happen. My brother is going on a 3-week cycling tour in Cambodia next week. Could you please someone recommend an action cam that is reliable? And also, how many cards would you take? I didn't get to your thing very fast. Your brother's probably already dead. I apologize in advance for that. If it was me going to Cambodia, it's hot there. Know that. I've never had a problem with GoPro 10 or 11 overheating, but in Cambodia, if you put a media mod on there, forget it. But I think GoPro 10 or 11 are reliable in my experience, maybe not yours, or the DJI Action 1 or the Sony X3000. Those are your options. They could get you by. How many cards? 2? You're bringing a laptop, right? Just 2 for the day if you need it. I rarely ever need 2, but 1 is good. For those who don't know, I make a lot of videos in advance and I release 4 a week, and sometimes I have like 2.5 weeks of videos built up. And so like asking your question in a timely manner like that, 1 week, you'll get that answer 3 weeks later when your brother's already been half eaten by an alligator. So may he rest in peace. I moved again and stopped down the toniature to allow more of my life into your life, thus relating to you. Have you tried the Zeiss to it 32mm 1.8 for Fuji? Does it have the 3D pop we crave? And TT Artisan 3D pop? Is it a thing? I imagine that Zeiss has it. It's a 32mm lens. It's a Zeiss. The 12mm barely had it, but longer focal lengths, you never know. Probably. It probably has at least the contrasty Zeiss warmness. I would think of it. And TT Artisans, I highly doubt it. The odds are not good. I don't know. These third-party lenses, it's a fine line. It's like, is it a vintage type of lens? So simple and good, or just utter trash? I think they're just bad, pretty much. It's not vintage. It's not anything. It's just bad. Companies like that are like, they're going for the cheapest possible lens and to mass produce it, undercut the competition. That's the China way of life, it seems. Don't be offended, my Chinese brothers. Just your businessmen have some daggers in their pens when they sign the contracts. So like, I think they're just cheap and bad. When you see a lens, it's $100. It's like, it probably looks like $100. Green. Yeah. My American homies got that reference, huh? Speaking of comparisons, a few years back you made a video talking about your two channels. In a video, The Downsides of Being a YouTuber, you were saying you reached 100K subs on Vegetable Police and how toxicity was ridiculous compared to this channel. I was wondering now that this one has been over 100K if you found the toxicity to reach the same levels. It's not that the Vegetable Police network is full of toxic people, it's just that I bring out the worst of people. This channel is like camera gear. Some of y'all are nasty freaks, for sure. Where you get so offended, like, I'm gonna insult your camera, so what? Like, take it on the sack, you gypsy. Whereas like Vegetable Police, I was a vegan for like 8 years, and if you know anything about vegans, it's a very, I'm not gonna say a cult like group, but when you leave that cult, which I did, the video was titled 10-Year Vegan Eats Nothing But Beef for 30 days, I became very polarizing in the community, and the vegans hate me. They still watch, and every video they tell me how much they hate me, so that can be annoying, but it's not like a toxic thing. It's just the diet world is very conflicted. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of beliefs, and so like the vegans can hate the meat eaters just want to eat their meat. They don't feel good as a vegan, so like there's reasons to not be vegan, and like I deal with a lot of that, and so it kind of just gets to the point where it's like, okay, I'm done with reading those comments today. Whereas like I don't ever miss a comment on the camera channel because it never gets out of hand to where I'm like, I can't take enough of this shit anymore. Whereas that, it's like I get a lot of advice from people telling me the same thing over again. You should try this, you should try this. It's like, okay, we're done. So that's the main difference. So I haven't noticed an increase in hate over here, just a bunch of freaks pointing out my user error as usual, and I don't mind that. It's fine. We can all grow and learn together. Just keep it respectable and don't be insulting with it, because you're insulting yourself. It's coming back like a mirror would. All right, last question. What do you think about Voigtlander 23mm 1.2 for Fuji? Any chance for 3D pop? I imagine so. It's a Voigtlander, it's a 1.2 Fuji. It could be a nice look. Could be super soft and bullshit. I don't know. I'd probably lean the 23mm Tony 2 for a simple lens. I've heard good things. I used to have it, so I heard good things from myself. The 23mm 1.4 might have been a little better, the Mark 1, but then they ruined it with modern glass, unleaded in its abilities. And now all those Mark II bullshit lenses, they focus faster, but they suck. I doubt it. I doubt they suck, but Fuji sucks in general, and they're no Sony, of course. Zeiss pop. Thank you for watching a Zeiss-related episode today. What was better, the Canon or this? I'm pretty happy with just the Canon for YouTube. Battery lasts forever. Little Voigtlander. I don't mind you. I don't mind you at all. I am debating getting that 24mm 1.4 still, if I can find a good deal on it. The Mark 1, of course. Don't be a freak. I'll leave. Affiliate links are available to you now, as are Camera Conspiracies t-shirts.